Ladies, let me break something down for you that a lot of men won't tell you, and most of us don't even realize ourselves. A man can be more in love with you than he knows. You see, men have been taught from an early age that we have to be tough. We have to be in control. We have to hold it together and not get caught up in too many emotions. We walk around thinking love is this thing we can manage, this thing we can decide how much to give or when to show it. But the truth is, when a man really connects with a woman, when his heart starts moving before his mind can catch up, he will already be deeper in love than he realizes. His actions will be screaming it long before his mouth ever admits it. Now here's the thing about men. We're not quick to process emotions. We're quick to process problems. We like to fix, to figure out, to provide solutions. But love sneaks up on us. Love is that one problem we can't solve with logic. And while we're still trying to convince ourselves we're just enjoying the relationship, just having a good time, just seeing where things go, our heart is already out here putting in work. You'll notice it before we do, because you'll see it in what we do. A man will rearrange his entire schedule without even thinking twice. He'll cancel things, he'll push things back, he'll stay up later than he planned, all because he wants to spend time with you. He might even act like it's no big deal, like it's just casual. But trust me, it's not casual. That's love operating before he's even aware of how far it's gone. When you become a priority in a man's life, and you didn't even have to ask, that's love speaking. Watch the little things. When he checks in on you before he checks on himself, when he asks if you ate, if you got home safe, when he can't end his day without hearing your voice. That's not routine. That's his heart leading the way. See, men don't always announce when their feelings have deepened. Most of us don't even realize the depth until one day it just hits us. But in the meantime, the evidence is there. Sacrifice is another language of love. If a man is willing to inconvenience himself for your comfort, that tells you everything you need to know. He may not come out and say, I'm more in love with you than I thought. But when he drives across town just to bring you something you needed, when he sits through something he doesn't enjoy just because you enjoy it, when he listens to details he normally wouldn't care about because they matter to you, that's love operating undercover. He doesn't always label it, but he's living it. Another thing you have to notice is how he includes you in his vision. Men are planners. We're always thinking about what's next, even if we don't say it out loud. And if he starts weaving you into his future without realizing it, that's a sign he's already in deeper than he knows. If he's saying things like, one day we should go here, or when I get this together, I want you there with me, or even talking about things 5 years down the line and you're automatically a part of it, that's love speaking through his subconscious. He hasn't sat down and told himself, I'm fully in love. But trust me, his actions already made the decision. You also know when a man is in deeper than he realizes by how protective he becomes. A man will always want to keep the woman he loves safe. That doesn't just mean physically safe. It means emotionally safe, mentally safe, spiritually safe. When a man is careful with his words because he doesn't want to hurt your feelings, when he avoids putting you in situations that would make you uncomfortable, when he shields you from unnecessary stress, that's his love showing. He may not even say, I'm protecting you because I love you. But that's exactly what's happening. Now here's where it gets real. A man usually comes face to face with just how deep his love runs when he imagines life without you. That thought shakes him. He can go on thinking everything is casual, thinking he's just enjoying his time. But the moment he really thinks about you not being there, the moment he considers someone else taking your place, that's when it hits him. That's when he realizes, hold up, this is different. This is deeper than I thought. I'm more in love than I knew. That realization usually comes like a shock, but it's been building all along. A man in love is consistent. That's one of the biggest giveaways. You can't measure a man's love by big moments alone. It's the consistency that tells the truth. When he calls every day, not because he has to, but because he wants to, when he shows up for you time and time again, when his actions don't change whether things are going good or rough. That consistency is love. You can't fake that for long. If he's consistent, he's invested. And if he's invested, he's in deeper than he thinks. Men are sometimes the last to know their own feelings, but women can usually see it before us. You'll see the shift. You'll notice when he starts to care about things that wouldn't matter to him otherwise. If you're sick and he's worried, if you're stressed and he's trying to figure out ways to make it easier for you, if you're happy and he's celebrating harder than you are, those are signs he's already in love. He may not have processed it, but his behavior is telling the whole story. The tricky part is men don't always admit it right away because admitting it feels like vulnerability. And men are taught to avoid vulnerability. But here's the truth: love is vulnerability. Love means giving somebody the power to hurt you, but trusting they won't. When a man starts trusting you with his secrets, with his fears, with his insecurities, he's already more in love than he realizes. Because men don't open up like that unless their heart is in it. So many times a man will surprise himself with how deep he's gone. He'll sit there one day and realize that your happiness is directly tied to his peace. That he can't have a good day if you're having a bad one. That he finds himself thinking about you even when he's busy. That he's planning things around you without meaning to. That's when it dawns on him. He's way more in love than he ever thought possible. Ladies, never underestimate what his actions are telling you. Words matter, yes, but actions tell the real story. A man may not say the words, "I love you," as often as you want. He may not even realize the depth of his own feelings. But if he's showing up, sacrificing, protecting, planning, and staying consistent, trust me, he's more in love with you than he knows. Let me talk to you about something men don't always understand about themselves. You ever been around a man who acts like he's just enjoying the relationship, like he's just in the moment, not putting a label on anything, not saying too much about where things are headed, but everything he does tells you he's already all the way? And that's because a lot of times a man will be more in love with you than he even knows. And I don't mean he's pretending or playing it cool. I mean, he literally doesn't realize the depth of what's happening inside him until one day it hits him in a way he can't deny. Men are taught to compartmentalize. We put things in boxes. Work in this box, goals in that box, family in another box, emotions in another. Love doesn't fit neatly into a box. It comes in quietly, it grows slowly, and before we know it, it's already controlling decisions, shaping priorities, rearranging the way we live. You might ask him, "Do you love me like that?" And he might hesitate because he's still convincing himself he's in control. But when you look at his behavior, you already have the answer. He's more in love than he thinks. See, men are not always verbal about emotions. We don't sit around talking to our boys about how deeply we feel for somebody. That's just not how we're wired. What we do instead is act. We move different when we care. That's why you can't always wait for the words. You've got to watch the movement. And when a man starts moving in ways that put you first, that protect you, that keep you in his mind no matter what he's doing, that's love running the show before his brain has caught up to it. Think about how he spends his time. A man's time is his most valuable asset. We don't just give it away for nothing. If he's giving you his time consistently, if he's choosing to be around you over other things he could be doing, if he's comfortable just sitting in silence with you, then he's already deeper in than he realizes. A man who isn't in love can be around you and still be distracted, still be half in, half out. But a man who's truly connected will look for ways to stretch time with you. He'll stay longer than he planned. He'll call when he doesn't have to. He'll start organizing his life to make sure you fit into it. That's love operating before he names it. Pay attention to his priorities. When you become part of his decision-making process, that's love. If he's asking your opinion before he makes moves, if he's checking in with you about things that impact his future, that means he's already seeing you as part of that future. He may not have sat down and admitted it to himself yet, but his actions show that his heart already has. Men don't ask advice from women they don't respect, and they don't include women in plans unless they're invested. If you find yourself included in his thought process, if you're considered in the choices he makes, that's love quietly guiding him. Now, sacrifice is another thing men can't hide. A man might not say he's head over heels in love, but sacrifice exposes the truth. If he's willing to give up his comfort for your happiness, if he's willing to adjust his habits for your peace, if he does things that are inconvenient for him but beneficial for you, then he's already in deeper than he knows. You don't sacrifice for someone unless your heart is attached. And men don't always realize how often they're doing this until somebody points it out. That's how you know it's genuine, because it's automatic. Another way you'll know is in how protective he becomes. That's a natural instinct in men, but it becomes amplified when he's in love. He'll start worrying about your safety, not just physically, but emotionally. He'll avoid saying things that could hurt you. He'll shield you from unnecessary stress. He'll be cautious about how people treat you. And sometimes he'll even get frustrated when he can't protect you from everything. That's love showing up in ways he doesn't always recognize. And let's talk about vulnerability for a second. Men don't open up easily. We've been trained to be strong, to keep emotions in check, to not show weakness. But when a man starts telling you his fears, his insecurities, the things that keep him up at night, that's not casual. That's love working through him. He might not even label it that way because he's not sitting there saying, I'm in love, so I'm opening up. No, he just feels safe enough to do it. And when a man feels safe enough to open up, it means his heart already made the decision. A man in love also becomes invested in your growth. He wants to see you succeed, not just for his sake, but for yours. He'll push you. He'll encourage you. He'll remind you of your worth when you forget it. He'll celebrate your wins like they're his own. That's not casual. That's not just liking somebody. That's love. Because when your joy becomes his joy, when your pain becomes his pain, when your future becomes tied to his dreams, he's already in deeper than his mind is admitting. What usually wakes a man up to the truth is the thought of losing you. That's when everything gets real. He can play it cool all he wants. He can act like he's just going with the flow. But the minute he thinks about you not being there, the minute he imagines you with someone else, that's when the truth hits. That's when he realizes how much he loves you, because that fear of losing you shakes him to his core. That's when it all clicks. He's been more in love with you than he knew the whole time. Consistency is the other giveaway. Anybody can show love in spurts. Anybody can buy flowers one day, say the right words, put on a show for a moment. But consistency is different. If he's showing up for you every day, if his behavior doesn't change when things get tough, if he's dependable in small ways and big ways, that's love. And half the time, he's not even doing it with a plan. He's doing it because it's who he's become with you. That's what real love does. It changes a man's habits without him even realizing it. And here's what I need you to understand. Men don't always process love through emotions first. We process it through responsibility. If he starts taking responsibility for your well-being, if he starts holding himself accountable for how he treats you, if he starts thinking about how his actions affect you, that's a man whose heart is already committed. He may not say it, but responsibility is his way of proving it. So when you're looking at a man and wondering how he feels, don't just wait on the words. Words can take time. Words can be delayed by pride, by fear, by ego. Watch the life he's building around you. Watch the consistency, the sacrifices, the protection, the vulnerability. That's where the truth is. And if you pay attention long enough, you'll see what he doesn't even realize yet, that he's more in love with you than he knows. Let me tell you something about men that most of us won't even admit to ourselves. A man can be so caught up in the day-to-day, so focused on his goals, his grind, his responsibilities, that he doesn't even realize how deep he's fallen for a woman. He'll tell himself he's just enjoying the relationship, that he's just taking it one day at a time, but meanwhile, his actions are writing a whole different story. The truth is, many times a man is more in love with you than he even knows. Men are not built to sit around analyzing feelings. We're taught to focus on results, to fix what's broken, to provide, to protect. Love doesn't announce itself in a way that makes sense to us. It grows quietly, and before we know it, it's shaping how we act, how we think, and how we live. You'll notice it before we do, because you'll see it in the things we do for you. We may not say it right away, but we'll show it long before we realize it ourselves. When a man starts to prioritize you without you even asking, that's love moving faster than his mind. Maybe he'll turn down an outing with his boys just to spend time with you. Maybe he'll rearrange his work to fit your schedule. Maybe he'll give up his comfort so you can have yours. He won't call it love. He'll just act like it's no big deal, but it's the biggest deal in the world, because men don't give up their freedom and time for just anybody. If he's doing that, he's already in deeper than he knows. Another way you can see it is in how he pays attention to you. Men aren't naturally wired to remember every detail, but when a man is in love, his mind starts holding on to the little things. He remembers how you like your coffee. He remembers the things you said bothered you, so he avoids them. He remembers the stories you told because they mattered to you. That's love sneaking in, because a man who's not connected doesn't keep those details. He might not even realize why he's remembering them. It just happens. That's his heart telling him what his mind hasn't caught up to yet. Watch how protective he becomes. When a man is invested, he can't help but want to make sure you're okay. If you're out late, he wants to know you got home safe. If you're upset, he wants to fix it. If somebody disrespects you, he's quick to step in. And it's not just about physical protection. It's about emotional safety. Two, he doesn't want you doubting yourself. He doesn't want you carrying too much stress. He doesn't want you feeling alone. That's love. He might not call it that yet, but it is. A man's love also shows up in his willingness to be vulnerable. Men don't like to expose weakness. We're raised to keep that guard up, to always look strong, to never let anybody see us struggle. But when a man starts letting you see the parts of him he doesn't show the world, that's not casual. If he tells you his fears, his regrets, his doubts, that's love at work. He may not even realize it's love. He just feels safe enough to open up. And that's a sign he's already in deeper than he knows. Then there's the way a man thinks about the future. He might not sit you down and say, I see you in my plans. But if he starts weaving you into his conversations about what's next, that's his heart revealing the truth. If he says, we should travel there one day, or when I get this promotion, I want us to celebrate like this, or even, I can't wait for you to see this place. That's love showing itself. He may not be consciously labeling it that way, but he's already planning with you in mind, which means he's more in love than he realizes. Consistency is another giveaway. A man who isn't invested can show up strong for a while, but eventually his actions fade. But when a man keeps showing up for you day after day, when he checks on you even when he's busy, when he's dependable in the small things and the big things, that's love. He doesn't have to put on a show. His behavior is natural because it's rooted in how he feels about you. He might not say the words, but his consistency is speaking for him. Love is also revealed in sacrifice. If he gives up sleep just to talk to you, if he goes out of his way to make sure you're comfortable, if he does things he doesn't enjoy just because you enjoy them, that's sacrifice. And men don't sacrifice unless they care deeply. He might think he's just being thoughtful, but that thoughtfulness is love in action. And sometimes he doesn't even notice how much he's giving until he looks back on it. That's how you know it's real. It comes naturally. Men also show love by caring about your growth. When he's invested in seeing you become your best self, that's a deeper kind of love. If he pushes you to chase your goals, if he reminds you of your worth when you forget it, if he celebrates your wins like they're his own, that's love operating through him. A man who doesn't love you won't put energy into building you up. But when he does, it's because he's already attached in ways he hasn't admitted yet. The real turning point for most men is when they imagine life without you. That's when everything becomes clear. He can go along thinking it's casual, thinking he's just enjoying the ride. But the second he thinks about losing you, that's when it hits. The thought of you walking away or being with someone else wakes him up to how much you mean to him. That's when he realizes he's more in love than he knew. It's not always a slow realization. Sometimes it's a shock, but it's been building the whole time. And let's be real about this, men struggle with admitting love because it feels like giving up control. Love means we can't just think about ourselves anymore. It means we're tied to somebody else's happiness, and that's a big responsibility. So even when a man is more in love than he knows, he might hesitate to name it because naming it feels like surrender. But actions don't lie. If he's showing up, protecting you, sacrificing for you, building with you, being vulnerable with you, he's already surrendered whether he admits it or not. So when you're watching a man, don't just listen to what he says. Look at what he does every day. Look at how he prioritizes you, how he protects you, how he remembers the little things, how he shows consistency. Those are the signs of love. And most of the time, those signs appear long before he's even aware of how deep it runs. That's how you know he's more in love with you than he knows. I want you to understand something about men, because this is the part we don't even always understand about ourselves. Love doesn't hit us the same way it hits you. For women, love can be clear, it can be immediate, it can be something you're fully aware of from the beginning. But for men, love sneaks in through the side door. It grows quietly in the middle of everyday life, and before we know it, it's controlling how we act, how we think, and what we choose. And a lot of times, a man doesn't even realize how far gone he is until something makes him stop and face it. That's why I say so often, a man can be more in love with you than he even knows. See, men are conditioned to stay in control. We're raised to chase success, to set goals, to handle responsibilities. We're told to be providers, protectors, problem solvers. We're not told to sit around and analyze emotions. So when love shows up, we don't process it the way you might. We'll tell ourselves we're just enjoying the moment, we're just having fun, we're just seeing where this goes. But in reality, our heart is already working overtime. We're showing you things through our actions long before our brain catches up to what's happening. If you want to know when a man is in deeper than he realizes, look at where he invests his time. Time is a man's most valuable currency. We don't just give it to anyone. If he's consistently choosing to be with you, even when he has other options, even when he could be doing something else, that's love. If he's staying on the phone with you after a long day, when all he really wants to do is sleep, that's love. If he's rearranging his plans so you can be a part of them, that's love. He may not call it that, but that's exactly what it is. Notice how he pays attention. A man who's not invested won't remember much. But when love is growing, he starts remembering the smallest details. He notices your moods. He knows the sound of your voice when something's off. He remembers what you said even weeks ago. He might not even realize he's paying that much attention, but he is. That's his heart doing the work for him. Sacrifice is another clear signal. Men like their comfort. We like our space, our freedom, our routines. But when a man starts giving those things up for you, that's love. If he's driving out of his way just to see you, if he's spending money he didn't plan on just to make you smile, if he's doing something he doesn't enjoy because it matters to you, that's love in motion. He may brush it off like it's nothing, but it's not nothing. It's everything, because men don't sacrifice unless their feelings are involved on a deeper level. And then there's protection. It's built into us to protect what we love. If a man is worried about your safety, if he wants to know you made it home safe, if he's quick to defend you when somebody disrespects you, that's not casual, that's love. And it goes beyond physical protection. It's emotional protection too. If he avoids speaking to you in a way that would cut too deep, if he tries to keep you from unnecessary stress, if he's careful with your heart, that's love. He might not be standing there saying, "I'm in love," but his actions already confessed it. Another thing to watch for is vulnerability. Men are taught to keep our guard up. We don't like letting people see where we're weak. But when a man opens up to you, when he starts telling you his secrets, his fears, the things he doesn't show the world, that's love right there. He doesn't always know why he's doing it, but it's because he feels safe with you. And when a man feels safe enough to show you his flaws, his past, his pain, that's proof his heart is already tied to you in a way his mind hasn't named yet. Consistency is another key. Anybody can come on strong in the beginning. Anybody can buy flowers once, send good morning texts for a few weeks, make big promises early on. But consistency is the real test. If he's showing up for you day after day, if he's checking in even when life is busy, if he's dependable in ways big and small, that's love. And most of the time, he doesn't even realize how consistent he's being until someone points it out. He's just doing it because you've become part of his rhythm, part of his life. That's how love works. It builds habits before we realize it. Another way love reveals itself is when a man starts thinking about the future and you're already in it. He might not sit you down and say, "I see us together 5 years from now," but listen closely to how he talks. If he says, "We should take a trip there," or "one day we should do this," or if he includes you in his long-term goals without even thinking about it, that's love already shaping his vision. He may not even catch himself doing it, but it's there. That's his heart planning before his head has admitted the truth. And here's something else: a man realizes just how deep his feelings go when he imagines life without you. He might not think about it often, but the moment he does, it wakes him up. The idea of you not being around, the idea of somebody else taking your place, that shakes him. That's when it hits him. He's been more in love than he thought. That fear of losing you makes everything clear. And usually, that's the moment a man stops denying it to himself. But the truth is, even before that realization, the signs are there. Look at how he treats you when you're down. Look at how he celebrates when you're happy. Look at how much your moods affect his moods. If your bad day ruins his, if your wins feel like his wins, that's love. And most of the time, he hasn't even realized how much of his emotional balance is tied to you. That's when you know he's more in love than he's willing to admit, even to himself. Love changes a man. It changes how he talks, how he behaves, how he plans. And a lot of times those changes happen so gradually that he doesn't notice them. But you will. You'll see the difference. You'll notice when he starts putting you first without being asked. You'll notice when he cares about your comfort more than his own. You'll notice when he starts being accountable to you in ways he isn't with anybody else. That's how you know he's in deeper than he realizes. So many men don't understand love until they're already living it. They'll downplay it, they'll brush it off, they'll act like they're just going with the flow. But their actions always tell on them. If he's sacrificing, if he's protecting, if he's being consistent, if he's planning with you in mind, if he's opening up, then he's already there. He may not have said it. He may not even have admitted it to himself yet. But the truth is, he's more in love with you than he knows.